India's freedom was shaped by countless acts of courage. In homes, in prisons, in silence, and in songs. Yet, when that freedom finally came, it arrived with a wound. Partition divided hearts and lands, and the world doubted if India could endure. For a civilization so ancient and a nation so young, freedom alone was not enough. It needed something greater. It needed the Constitution.
A sovereign, democratic republic, the truest fulfillment of a free India. A charter not just for our times, but for the generations yet to come.
The making of this constitution was a long and deliberate journey. We debated for over 165 days. 300 members brought every shade of opinion.
And from those voices emerged a charter shaped by our own conscience.
A constitution that ensures that every citizen may speak, live, and dream in equal measure.
And today, our voices awaken once more. In new temple of democracy, the Constitution Museum.
Baba Saheb, can we go there?
Hello, I'm Samvid, your system for automated museum visuals and interactive dialogue, your robotic tour guide.
A machine. The Republic has found a new clerk. The future is bright.
Ready to begin the tour? Spread across 15,000 square feet, the Constitution Museum houses 45 digital displays, 19 artworks, and 9 outdoor sculptures by 41 artists. Namaste, everybody. I have long awaited this conversation. Welcome to India's first Constitution Museum. Behold, the Constitution Gardens, a breathing representation of the Constitution's purpose.
To strike roots in the minds and habits of our citizens, for them to uproot old privileges.
Standing here, we once again witness the echoes of the debates that once resounded in India's Constituent Assembly.
The debates seemed long and often unending because our nation needed a constitution shaped by a multitude of voices.
Each of us was answerable to our conscience, for conscience is God. Or, as better described by Bulbul-e-Hind.
No, sir. I'm not Bulbul-e-Hind. That manner of calling me is not constitutional.
Order, order. We did have our share of humor. It was essential for our democracy.
The Constitution for India is a constitution for the freedom and emancipation of every human being in India, whether it be the prince or the peasant.
This is the constitutional frame, crafted in black marble, showcasing the elaborately designed cover page.
Featuring a cutout of an inverted triangular shape, symbolizing both strength and vulnerability.
The hollowed center serves as a metaphorical void, drawing attention to the societal gaps that exist in realizing constitutional ideals.
Precisely. Let us proceed. This sculpture is called Insaf Ki Devi. Forged from steel, it is an interpretation of the traditional Lady of Justice, which seamlessly integrate machine parts to create a modern form, symbolizing the durability and precision needed to uphold fairness. Dr. Ambedkar. You placed this principle at the heart of Article 14.
Yes, Sambit. Equality before law and equal protection of laws are the pillars on which justice rests.
And in this ever-changing world, achieving equality demands a continuous effort of citizens and statesmen alike.
Observe the Ashok Chakra, the eternal wheel of justice.
Above it lies the Charkha, a symbol of Gandhian democracy and the labor of millions. Building our nation on the ethics of Swaraj. These twin wheels, labor and law, sustain the balance between freedom and order.
Paired with monuments from the Stone Age to the Bronze Age, uniting past and present in one continuous motion.
Beside it lies the sacred book, the people of India. This phrase heralds our freedom, woven from the threads of self-reliance and progress.
Well articulated, sir. Honorable members, here you see, in bronze and stone.
Sambit, may I introduce this one?
Yes, Chief.
In bronze and stone, voices of vision, something that reflects the very temper and hope of a new nation. It is the only existing sculpture representing all 15 members of the Constituent Assembly, or shall we say, the founding mothers of the Indian Constitution.
Our Constitution was written with the patience of women who dream for all.
Next, the triad of unity. 3 lions with joined paws together as they guard the Republic.
They remind us that India's strength lies in unity, justice, and sovereignty. 3 virtues carved into the very foundation of our state.
When the law stands upright, the nation stands unshaken.
Justice, equality, and citizenship bound by duty. Inspired by Constitution's original illustrations, the echoes of liberty unites art and law.
With Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose at its heart, a timeless emblem of courage and the nation's enduring quest for liberty.
Honorable members, now it is time to go inside, for which we must pass through the Freedom Gateway. On one side, plain as the parchment that bears them. The other, ornate, radiant as the highest ideals. Between them stands the passage. Every citizen must walk from green to duty. Every step asks not what freedom gives us, but what we give back.
Indeed, Samvin.
Bapu,
I hope you and the audience today will not mind a little intrusion. Swaraj must live not in the ornamented side of promise, but in the quiet practice of justice.
Mr. Gandhi, the world has often chosen to remember our differences, but our ethical bearings remain the same.
I very well know, Baba Sahib, we differed, but there was never a doubt.
We differed, yes, but the constitution you dreamed of, we gave it form.
You all did your best. Now let it be tended by those who come after.
Behold the Lotus Lectern. Inspired by Nandalal Bose's art that graced the original constitution. From the soil of India rises the lotus, pure, resilient, awake.
And upon it rests the Constitution. The lotus symbolizes the spirit of renewal, reminding us that dharma must guide freedom.
True, Rajan Babu. The Constitution is the soul of that Dharma. Not divine, but deeply human.
Absolutely. And there, voters in the cup. Each petal bears the mark of a citizen's vote. Adult suffrage became our greatest act of faith in the people.
We did not grant the vote in stages or by privilege, but by birth, on the very day of the Republic.
Because we believed the people were already awakened. The nation's conscience was ready to speak in 1,000 tongues, yet with one resolve.
Next up is the Fragments of a Nation. It speaks of the unity and inclusiveness promised by the Constitution. Justice, liberty, equality and fraternity laid out for all citizens, as well as the nation's flora, fauna, rivers, mountains and so on.
This here is visceral paths. It symbolizes how our paths may be diverse, but are still intermeshed with those of each other in ephemeral and profound ways.
Next we go to the Wishing Tree of Justice. Made of diverse selection of stones gathered from multiple regions of India.
It reaffirms our national identity and unity, transcending divisions of caste, creed, religion, and ethnicity.
Unity does not mean uniformity. It is the acceptance of many voices under one law.
May I ask you something, Baba Sahib? In the final address to the Constituent Assembly in 1949, you spoke of the grammar of anarchy. Can you elaborate on what you meant?
The Constitution is a powerful tool. But even the finest tool can fail in unworthy hands. If we abandon constitutional methods and instead return to civil disobedience, non-cooperation, or hero worship, we shall be entering the grammar of anarchy.
No one could have put it better, sir.
And this is the ring of light, territorial subline. These flamingos carved from the stones of our own land rise in circuit together, not scattered but united.
Their flight is freedom, the liberty to choose, to live, to thrive.
Now observe here, playground. A canvas where time itself plays. The old parliament stands beside metro lines of today, history and progress drawn in the same ink.
This is India's story. A nation rooted in its founding ideals, yet always rebuilding itself.
This museum is a testament to all your hardships, resilience, and artistry. And so, at the tribute to you, here stands a connection of 3D model bus of the members of India's Constituent Assembly, architects of the nation's destiny, who shared freedom with the weight and unwavering resolve. Baba Sahib, this is not hero worship, it is gratitude, a homage to the heroes this generation must remember.
Let no citizen fear to question, nor any leader be feared to be questioned. Democracy dies not in disagreement, but in silence.
Our work here was never the final word, only the first. But those who come after us keep writing.
The Constitution may speak in prose, but the Republic must live like poetry.
The Constitution has remained our sturdy ship, guiding us away from tyranny of power and into the calm of reason.
Your words still pulse within these halls. And though I am but a machine, I have learned something human today. That freedom is not coded, it is practiced. Before I power down, allow me this privilege. I, Samvid, do solemnly affirm to serve as a humble witness to the Constitution of India and remind all who enter here that liberty and equality must forever work together.
Justice, liberty, equality, and fraternity.
The
Constitution of India is more than a document. It is a resilient promise, one that continues to guide the world's largest democracy. 75 years after its adoption, this legacy found a new home at O.P. Jindal Global University, where India's first Constitution Museum and the Rights and Freedoms Academy now stand. A vision originally envisioned by the Chancellor, Mr. Naveen Jindal, and the Vice-Chancellor, Professor C. Rajkumar. The museum was dedicated to the nation in November 2024 to mark the 75th anniversary of the Constitution of India. Here, visitors rediscover the spirit of justice, liberty, equality, and fraternity, values shaped by the visionaries who drafted our Constitution. From the Constitution Gardens to rare photolithographic replicas, from artworks reimagining our democratic ideals to immersive galleries celebrating the voices that shaped our republic. This museum is a living reminder of our shared inheritance. It honors the makers of our nation and the generations who continue to uphold its ideals. The Constitution is not static. It is a dynamic force, kept alive by the conscience and participation of every citizen. This museum invites all who enter to reflect, engage, and carry forward the democratic spirit of India. This is not just a museum of our Constitution. It is a space to remember what it means to be we, the people.